and gentlemen, welcome back. And now time for your favorite section, the nation's sharpest opinion, where I get to do some plain speaking, no pulling the punches. And my question tonight is, can there be a united opposition? And I'm asked this question everywhere. Arnab, are you against a strong opposition? And I say absolutely not. They say, do you not want a strong opposition in this country? I said absolutely yes. No one more than me wants a strong opposition in this country. There are several kinds of people. There are people who want the BJP to stay forever. There are people who want the BJP to go immediately. And then there are people who say there must be a BJP and there must be a very strong opposition to the BJP as well. And you can count me in that club. But the question is this, ladies and gentlemen, can there be opposition unity? Every time there's a state election where there's a change in the result, like in Karnataka, for the next 24 hours, there is a persistent endeavor to say we must have opposition unity. And I'm of a view, opposition unity, great, but I still feel at a national level, there'll be a balancing of the BJP only when there is a singular party, one party or two parties, which really take on and can manage to get at least half the BJP vote. So if the BJP gets 300 seats, then I believe there has to be another party that gets at least 150 seats, not a party that gets 50 seats. Because we need cohesion in this country. We need stability in this country. We need a centrifugal force in this country, and there has to be one party which is at the core of it. And then people will say, oh, no, do you have something against the Congress? What if the Congress with 50 seats, 60 seats, 70 seats becomes that centrifugal force? And my answer is simple. No party with under 100 seats or 150 seats can ever be a centrifugal, cohesive force in any opposition. Then you are going to go back to the 90s. And the problem is that we are a very young country, so there are pros and cons of being a young country. The pros, of course, is the demographic dividend. The cons are that a lot of people much younger, Gen Z, for example, has no idea how terrible it is to have a Khichdi Sarkar. And I think it's important to educate Gen Z about what happens when you have a Khichdi Sarkar in this country. Now, anyone in this country born, say, post-1990 would have very little recollection of what happened in this country in the late 90s. Which means, what I'm trying to say is anyone under the age, for example, of 35, and that's a huge number in this country, under the age of 35, would have no real living recollection of how terrible it was in the late 90s. There were two governments within 2 years and two prime ministers, three prime ministers in 2 years. And we saw the drama that happened in that period under the so-called United Front Government 1, United Front Government 2, H.D. Deve Gowda as Prime Minister, followed by Inder Kumar Gujral. Many people may not even remember who Inder Kumar Gujral is today. Ask anyone in this country below the age of 35 who are the constituents of these governments, and I can tell you 90% of Gen Z would not know, and that's the tragedy. The tragedy is that a large number of people in this country, young Indians, are not politically aware enough to realize the huge disadvantages of a formula of perennial confusion within a Khichdi Sarkar. I am completely against this kind of a Khichdi Sarkar formulation, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only thing more dangerous than having no opposition. Having an opposition of a disparate number of different groups with different power structures, different ambitions, different aspirations, and no cohesive centrifugal formula or ideology for that matter. That is what we risk. And the problem is, I think it is that a lot of youngsters in this country do not know enough about the disadvantages of coalition politics when it becomes so unstable. So I, for one, would say, let's have an opposition, let's have a strong opposition, let's have political stability first and foremost. Today in this country, you have infrastructure being built, you have a counter to China being built, you have things happening in this country which have not happened for at least the last 50, 60, 70 years. We need continuity. I don't care which government comes in. But should we not have continuity of growth and development in this country? We must. And therefore, I believe that if there is to be opposition unity, there has to be real unity. It cannot be a farcical unity. If opposition parties cannot even work together at the state level, then my very focused question is, how on earth can they work together in national governance? It's very easy to say, let's throw the BJP out. The question will be, what's your answer? Can you work together? If you can't work together at the district level, state level, panchayat level, how are you going to work together at the national level? Mamata Banerjee, for example, said, after the Karnataka result, she said, we will support the Congress wherever the Congress is strong, and they must support other parties where they are strong. Now, that's a very clear formulation. Politically, very pragmatic formula, and Mamata Banerjee is doing it because she knows that the left is coming back in Bengal, they are eating into her vote share, and she wants to remain a dominant force in Bengal. Question is this sustainable? Because Nitish Kumar is holding meetings, KCR has been leading a separate unity bid, Mamata Banerjee and Sharad Pawar are eyeing top posts. So is this a sustainable formula in the run-up to 2024? Will an opposition which is cutting each other's votes at a local level be the biggest boon or bane for the BJP? I think it's going to be the biggest boon for the BJP. Does the Trinamool Congress really have any negotiating room right now? Does it have negotiating room? And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not being cynical of opposition unity efforts. I want opposition unity. As I've just explained to you, this country needs a strong opposition. But once again, I think a very important lesson in political history, every school student must learn today about the chaos that happened in the late 90s under those Khichdi governments. And every youngster below the age of 30 must ask themselves, do we want chaos in this country? Okay, we want to throw the BJP out, but do you want chaos in this country? What's the alternative? Question is this, will the Congress and the Trinamool, for example, go head to head, fight tooth and nail for the 42 seats in Bengal in 2024? Will the CPM and the Congress fight tooth and nail for the 20 seats in Kerala in 2024? Will the NCP, the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Bhalasaheb Thackeray and the Congress fight elections among themselves for the 48 seats in Maharashtra? Will the Congress and the BRS go head to head in 2024? While fighting the 17th Lok Sabha elections, these are critical questions. And the reason I ask these questions on Republic is because I don't live in La La Land. I'm asking questions that are part of the political reality in this country. If you need to take on the BJP, reality is you cannot take on the BJP without a pre-poll alliance. You cannot take on the BJP with some formulation of a post-poll alliance. You can't say we have an issue, we have a reason, but we don't have a leader, and we don't have a pre-poll alliance. The BJP is in power in 9 states where the opposition is fragmented. These are critical questions. And hence, ladies and gentlemen, while doing the postscript of elections like Karnataka, we need to look at issues in depth. And we need to ask ourselves, is there a plan for opposition unity? Let's debate.